Before we begin today's session, I want you to participate in a simple exercise that will help you to understand what follows. I would like all of you to close your eyes momentarily. Just for a short time, close your eyes. And having closed your eyes, I want you to imagine that in your hand, there is a large, plump, juicy lemon. That lemon is literally bursting with juice. It is so taut, and you can see how that lemon actually looks full of juice. So you pick up that lemon with your hand and you bring that lemon to your lips. And when you bring it to your lips, you can feel the surface of the texture of the lemon peel. You can feel the dimples on that lemon peel because it is so full of juice. You bring that lemon to your nose, and when you take that lemon to your nose, you will find that you get the fragrance of the lemon, fragrance of the lemon juice. Now, holding and feeling that taut, juicy lemon, I want you to imagine taking a knife and cutting that lemon in half. And as you cut it in half, some juice will spill out on your fingers and make them sticky. You pick up one half of that lemon, open your mouth, and squeeze a little bit of that lemon under your tongue. And then take that lemon, put the cut half on your tongue, and then with your tongue, press that half of the lemon against your palate, so that when you press it against the palate, more juice will come out in your mouth and you can feel that tart, sour juice. All right, you can open your mouth, you can open your eyes now. And if you opened your eyes, you will notice that, well, those of you who are healthy and otherwise normal will have a secretion of saliva in your mouth. But there was no lemon. There was no lemon juice. That, my friends, is the power of the mind. And today we are going to discuss what is the power of the mind, how to harness it, how to restructure the content of the mind, and how we can redirect the mind. A process which is known popularly as meditation. And there are many misunderstandings about meditation because there are many forms of meditation. And I want you to bear with me because I will be, shall I say, sharing a presentation on the screen. So you can now see the screen, and the presentation I'm going to give you is called Understanding Meditation. Because everyone talks about the spiritual effects of meditation, few people talk about the scientific effects of meditation on your body and your mind. I'm going to discuss both before we go ahead. So, indeed, we are going to make your ideas of meditation stand up on their head. So the first thing is meditation restricted to religion? This is the first question. And the answer is no, it is not restricted to religion. It is used in many. You have people who use it for medical reasons, post-traumatic disorder, when used regularly, not necessarily for putting prisoners on the right path. It is used by sportsmen, tennis players, golf professionals. All of them use meditation. Meditation, therefore, is used medically. Meditation is used in a social sense in reformatories and prisons. Meditation is used to give power to the efforts that you are performing in the performing arts, in sport. In fact, meditation is used everywhere. It's just that religion is perhaps the one form of one field which has used meditation the most, experimented with it the most, and demonstrated its benefits more than anywhere else. Is meditation only for the good and the virtuous? If you're not virtuous, if you're not good, perhaps you can't do meditation. Is that true? Certainly not. Anyone can work with the mind, whether you're good and virtuous or whether you're bad and wicked. So you can have people who are engaging in improving themselves, improving their goodness and their virtue. And then you have people who are using meditation for other purposes. They're using it with the intent to commit harm, commit violence. Warriors regularly use meditation as a technique to help their performance against their unfortunate enemies. So, is meditation about closing your eyes? Somebody once told me, but doctor, I can't close my eyes. How will I meditate? But the answer is that it's not about closing your eyes. Because, in fact, closing your eyes often encourages you to go to sleep, whereas open eye meditation helps you to remain focused and helps you to remain awake. The best example is the example of Kratak, where one looks without blinking in the dark at a candle flame. Is meditation about being silent? Someone told me that, oh, I can't remain silent. How will I do meditation? But my friends, it is not about being silent. I have already explained to you about japa and I have already explained to you about chanting. These are methods which do insist that you should not be silent, but that you should be able to hear the chanting. And for those who are even more disturbed, they need more than chanting. They need singing. They need, even if it sounds like shouting. The point is that when you are in Sattva-gun, you can meditate silently. When you are in Rajagun, you can meditate softly under your breath. just so that only you can hear it, as we do in what is called japa, which I have explained. And also, when you are in tamagun and the mind just won't listen, then there's nothing like bhajan and kirtan, where you can sing and chant and shout and jump and dance. So is it about sitting still? Well, sitting still helps, but it's not necessarily about sitting still. For example, we have Tai Chi, which is an excellent form of meditation originating in China, where people of all ages, particularly those who are aging, they perform Tai Chi exercises in the morning and evening in the parks. And they do it in a meditative manner. That is, they do it in a manner which is fully mindful. So this mindfulness introduction into movement makes it possible for you to meditate while moving. Similarly, there are regular mindfulness walks, which are also known as meditation walks, where one has to be fully mindful while walking. But in India, popularized by our present head of state, Prime Minister, you can perform yoga asanas. You perform yoga asanas in sequence with your eyes closed, in full mindfulness of the stretch in your limbs and in your muscles and your body. And that is also an excellent form of meditation, which also has wonderful physical effects. Pictures here demonstrate Tai Chi and, of course, walking meditation. So it's not necessary to only sit still while doing it. Does meditation mean keeping the mind still? How can I keep the mind still? Chanchalahi mana Krishna pramati balavadridam tasyaham nigram manye vayurivasa duskaram. The mind is restless, turbulent, obstinate. To try to control the mind is like trying to control the wind. But indeed, there are other forms of meditation which are known as visualization meditation. In visualization meditation, you have a visualization of the pastimes of the Lord. And if you visualize the pastimes of the Lord and keep your mind on the Lord in visualization, you will find that you emerge from that meditation transformed and rested. The same technique is also followed in Christianity. You should see those who are in following the Christian faith need to see Ignatius Loyola's spiritual exercises, which he has written for the members of the Society of Jesus. They're available. I have a copy. So that also requires sitting and visualizing the activities and pastimes of Jesus Christ. So by closing your mind, keeping your mind on divinity, it doesn't mean that the mind has to be still. Remember God and forget yourself. If you can remember God and forget yourself, that indeed is the true meditation. So how would we define meditation? And to define meditation, we need to take a closer look at the mind. And in the mind, we say that the mind has a structure and a content. And we want to change this structure. We want to change this content. We want to transform the content for whatever purpose. Here, When we are studying Bhagavad-Geeta and following spiritual practices, we want to use the meditation in order to transform our minds to remember God and forget self. Remember Krishna, forget yourself. It's an excellent method for turning off the monkey mind. As I've explained in my earlier lectures, you want to turn off the default mode, which swivels and centers around I, me, myself, my relationships, which is known as the default mode or the social cognition mode. We want to turn off that mind because that is a mind that causes suffering, that is a mind that causes distress. And by stopping that, using meditation, we allow the natural flow of consciousness through which divinity can use our consciousness as an instrument. If you look at it from a more medical perspective, it's a methodology for selectively activating specific areas of the brain. And these specific areas of the brain, when they are activated, you get what is known as emotional and physical well-being. Just like when you imagine the lemon and squeezing the lemon in your mouth with your tongue, similarly, the rest of your body also responds in a similar way. And with proper training, you can use different techniques to bring your mind into different altered states of consciousness, which will transform your body and your health as well. Most important, it brings about the power of now. There is practically huge advantage when you turn the mind from moving into the past and moving into the future. Your mind is a time machine, and if you can make that mind stop traveling in time from the past and from the future, you will find huge amount of benefit. You will find peace, and you will find prosperity, and you will find perfection within the power of now. Some of you might have read Eric Fromm, who speaks about the power of now, and he's written about it. So the now is turning off the monkey mind. Now it's turning off the default cognition mode. It is turning off the social cognition mode. It turns off thoughts of I, me, and myself. So remain in now, and meditation keeps your attention on the present moment. It also takes your attention away from the limited and petty self. See, we are always taking selfies and thinking about selves, and we are projecting ourselves on Instagram and Facebook and various ways we are trying to project the self. Turn your mind from the self and towards God. Turn your mind from the self and towards Krishna. Remember God, forget self. Remember Krishna, forget self. And meditation is the way by which you can remember Krishna and forget self. Of course, meditation was popularized by Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. And his form of meditation is a simple form of meditation, which is now being secularized by the Herbert Benson School of Medicine, which we will talk about later. And following Maharishi, so also they've done a lot of scientific work on the benefits of meditation. And they've used it for rehabilitation of criminals and to prevent crime. Similarly, his ex-disciples who formed brands of their own and away from Maharishi. And they made quite a name for themselves. They also are well into doing and teaching meditative practices. Dr. Herbert Benson was a cardiologist, and this cardiologist studied this meditation, and he decided to secularize meditation so that this meditational techniques could be taken to atheists, it could be taken to patients of different religious faiths, and he could give the mental and physical benefits of meditation to all and sundry. To which he's written this book called The Relaxation Response. And in addition to this relaxation response, he has also established a chair, Herbert Benson Chair of Mind-Body Medicine at Harvard Medical School. And they teach various forms of meditation there, not just relaxation response. They're doing a lot of scientific studies to establish the benefits of various forms of meditation. So the relaxation response is simple. You can try it now while listening to me. Sit quietly in a comfortable position. Once again, close your eyes. Deeply relax all your muscles. One by one, beginning at your feet and progressing gradually up to your face, keeping every muscle completely relaxed. Breathe through your nose and become aware of your breathing. As you breathe out, say the word one silently to yourself. Breathe easily and naturally. This can be continued for at least 20 to 30 minutes. And when you finish, sit quietly for some time before you get up. Do not worry about whether you are successful in achieving a deep level of relaxation. You will simply achieve it with repeated effort. Abhyasena tu kantiya vairagyena chikriyate, Krishna says in the Bhagawad-Geeta. With constant practice and detachment, you will attain deep relaxation. When distracting thoughts occur, ignore them by not dwelling upon them and return to repeating one. With practice, the response will come with a little effort. What are the effects of meditation on the body? First, brain is in repose. This brain, which is 1/50th the weight of your body, takes fully 25% of your blood supply. It is an energy-hungry organ. It demands more blood than anywhere else. So when you can put your brain into repose, when your brain can be made to respond to this meditation, you will find that various things begin to happen within the brain. During meditation, the frontal cortex goes offline. So in fact, there was a whole series of articles and books on is God within the brain? Because there are two areas in the brain, one on each lobe. And these are known as the orientation areas, the left orientation area and the right orientation. One area in that part of the brain, parietal lobe, tells you how your body is situated. And the other lobe tells you how other structures in the room are situated compared to you. By using neuroimaging, they have demonstrated that at that moment when people say that they have gone completely offline, when they have gone mind has gone completely silent, when they are unaware of their body, unaware of the world, absorbed in divinity, at that time both the left orientation area and the right orientation area black out. There is no function. So meditation helps to turn off these areas. It helps you to truly forget yourself. And truly forget yourself in the sense your physical body is completely forgotten, and the room where you are, the structures around you, the people around you are completely forgotten. All this comes with practice and experience and training. The gatekeeper of your senses, which is thalamus, also focuses your attention into a far, far deeper area, and it shuts off all sensorial stimulation from the environment. And thus, meditation helps you to transform your brain. In fact, other organs are also greatly affected. You can have what we call as lowered heart rate, lower blood pressure. In fact, this reversing your heart disease, which today in India is popularized by Bimal Charger, all use meditation as a means to have good cardiovascular benefit. There is deep muscle relaxation, very deep muscle relaxation. Even muscles you don't think you had or don't remember you had, experience a very deep relaxation. And your basal metabolic rate, the rate at which your body burns fuel, automatically falls. It falls dramatically. Stress is killed. There is a view that stress is seen as an imbalance of the autonomic nervous system. So you have a sympathetic nervous system and you have a parasympathetic nervous system. One which affects the organs over which you have no control, like your gut and various other organs. And then you have a sympathetic nervous system, like your heart, and which are stimulated by exercise and other things. So when there's an imbalance in these, it causes stress. Or rather, stress is manifested by there being an imbalance between the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system. Your EEG, your EKG, your breathing rate, your galvanic skin resistance all comes to below resting levels. And if you take a serum test, your catecholamines, your cortisol and lactate, all signs of stress, both acute and chronic, both of them, all three of them fall as a result of regular meditation. We have a mind, and that mind has got a conscious mind and an unconscious. In fact, a conscious mind, which we are aware of, is very small. Most of the work that we do, we are pushed into doing by unconscious mind. I will go into the scientific aspects of that in another session. But basically, our unconscious mind primes and does most of the things that we imagine that we are doing. And therefore, This unconscious mind is the more important part of your mind. So in your conscious level mind, your thoughts and perceptions. In pre-conscious, you have some memories. In unconscious mind, you have fears, violence, irrational wishes, immoral urges, selfish needs. And we need to take care of the unconscious mind. The Titanic was not sunk by the visible part of the iceberg. It was sunk by the submerged underwater part of the iceberg. Similarly, spiritual ships are not sunk by the conscious mind. Spiritual ships are sunk by the unconscious mind. As you can see, so many so-called gurus, so-called enlightened people have led themselves without realizing what is happening into great disasters, simply because they didn't take proper care of their unconscious. In psychoanalysis, what do they do? What does a psychotherapist do? He makes you lie down or sit down in a relaxed position and then talk to the psychiatrist or talk to the psychologist about random thoughts and random events that come to mind. In fact, meditation is nothing but psychoanalysis where you are the psychoanalyst. There's even a book called Meditation and Psychoanalysis. So what happens is, typically, if you see the dhyan, which is described in Patanjali Yoga Sutras, in that dhyan, you sit still, silence your mind, and then watch the thoughts that randomly come from your unconscious, just like bubbles emerge from the depths. And in a position of being a sakshi, a witness, you watch those unconscious mind releasing thoughts and events, and you get a perspective. You get an objective view of what is happening, and you realize what is happening inside your mind. So meditation is the psychoanalysis. But you don't have to pay somebody and sit down and talk to them and let thoughts come from your mind and then talk to the psychiatrist or psychologist about it. In meditation, what happens is that you are the psychiatrist or psychoanalyst. Your mind, especially your unconscious mind, is the patient. And you are gradually watching thoughts emerge from your unconscious mind, and you're beginning to realize what lies there so that you can observe it objectively. And when you observe it objectively, it goes away. It's just like, where what we put into the unconscious mind is all the things we don't want to think about. If there's a dead rat and your domestic staff puts it under the carpet, the smell will continue. But when you lift up the carpet and see what's there, you will see the rat, dead rat, and you will automatically pick it up and throw it away, getting rid of the problem. Meditation is like that. Similarly, what happens is there are internal conflicts that lie within us. There are people, things that you want and things that you don't want. Actually, God is fulfilling all your desires. There's no doubt about that. But the problem is that we have conflicting desires. So then God also wonders what should he fulfill? So in meditation, we understand the internal conflicts that lie within us, and dealing with those internal conflicts, we bring about greater harmony. Similarly, anger also spontaneously and naturally reduces. Your fear also goes away. And where it went, you will never discover, because it was never there to begin with. You begin to become free from depression. This, the sorrow that does not give vent to tears makes other organs weep. So the results of mental health, ill health, are not only on the mind but also on the body. And by relieving depression and anxiety, you improve your mental and your physical health. And of course, you realize that you are the soul. Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara tatha dehantara praptirdhirastatra namaye. Through meditation, through annulment or extinction of the false idea that you are this virtual entity which we call the self, with name, gender, position, status, community, all that is forgotten. You realize that you are a nobody who does nothing. And this physical body, where you are moving from infancy to childhood to youth, to old age, and finally to another body, all of this is simply a leela that is going on. And that is possible to realize it through meditation. Through meditation, you reach out to God. You remember God to forget self. And by reaching out to God, you experience great peace, great understanding, a feeling that you are being looked after. And in fact, it will help you to attain both peace, perfection, and the supreme destination. You will transcend time and space. You will go beyond this limited I, me, myself. You will experience unity with the universe, one with Brahman. You will rest in bliss beyond all imagining. So Krishna talks about Bhagavad-Gita, where he talks about various techniques, including your work, as a means to forget the self and remember God. So indeed, your work becomes a meditation. Your whole life becomes a meditation. Because when you are working, you are remembering God and forgetting self. When you are chanting, you are remembering God and forgetting self. And hence what happens is that your life becomes a continuous meditation. You remain in the present moment. You act without ego or sense of doership. You perform all your duties with dedication and sacrifice. Don't give up the world. Don't give up your duties. Don't abandon your family and your responsibilities. You perform your duties with dedication and sacrifice. And ultimately, meditation methods are not limited. There's a meditation for each of you. But if you look at our scriptures are very clear. Krite yad dhyayate Vishnu, tretayam yajato makai, dvapare paricharyam, kalau tandhari kirtanam. In Satyug, the method was silent meditation. In Treta Yuga, the meditation was performing fire sacrifice. In Dwapar Yuga, the method was meditation while performing puja of the Murti. And in Kali Yuga, it is meditation on the holy name. Harer Nam, Harer Nam, Harer Nam Eva Kevalam, Kalau Nasteva, Nasteva, Nasteva Dakiramita. In Kali Yuga, there is no other way except chanting the holy name. In Kali Yuga, there is no other way other than chanting the holy name. In Kali Yuga, there is no other way but chanting the holy name. 3 times repetition is for emphasis. Indeed, in the Kali Santarana Upanishad, the Upanishad for the age of Kali Yuga, it says, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Iti Shodha Shakam Nam Nam Kali Kalmashu Nashanam Natah Paratarapaya Sarva Vedeshu Drishte. By chanting these 16 syllable mantra, you will begin to transcend all suffering and acquire all knowledge of Vedas. You get great benefit for your body, for your mind, and of course for the soul. Becomes evident. Make your life a meditation, remain in the present moment. Forget your ego and sense of self. Remember God and forget self. Thank you. So with this, I'll conclude. We have, I think, 15 minutes more. If anyone has any questions, they're welcome to ask.
Yes, of course, sir. A very good morning. And sir, thank you so much for such a wonderful session. I'll begin with our first question. Sir, as you started with that, the example of lemon. So it is true that humans are very feelings oriented persons. So can we say that
Pardon?
meditation, humans are feelings oriented? I mean, they want to feel, they want to have the feeling of something. Um, so, can we say that meditation can help us to feel or experience something without having it? Is it like meditation, like tricking your own mind?
See, meditation changes the structure and content of your mind. We are teaching Bhagavad-Geeta here, where the intent is to transform the mind and divinize it so that you can have peace, you can have harmony, you will spontaneously advance spiritually. That is the purpose. But as I pointed out, it can be used for many things. You want to murder somebody, you can meditate on that also. But that's not the purpose of what I'm teaching.
Absolutely. So, sir, is deep sleep also a kind of meditation? Because in both cases, our conscious
No,
mind
deep,
stays in.
deep sleep is not the same because even in deep sleep, your basal metabolic rate goes down by 8%. But in meditation, your basal metabolic rate goes down by 12%. So when you meditate, the kind of relaxation that you get is much more than what you get by going to sleep.
Absolutely, sir. So we get more relaxation during meditation than in deep sleep, because in deep sleep also the thoughts uncontrollably are just moving in different directions.
No, thoughts go in dream sleep, but even in deep sleep, you can't achieve that level of depth of meditation, depth of relaxation.
Sure,
That's scientifically quantified.
sure, sir. So, sir, how is meditation different from samadhi?
See, samadhi is a word which has different meanings in the context in which it's used. So sometimes people say he's going into samadhi, or this is his samadhi, meaning that he's dead, that body is dead. So there are many meanings of samadhi depending upon the context in which it is used. But sama means equanimous, dhi means intelligence. So when your mind is equanimous, when your intelligence is equanimous, then it is samadhi. Our
Sure, sir.
objective should be to meditate throughout our life, make our life a meditation, and be in constant samadhi.
Absolutely, sir. So, sir, can a person start the basic form of meditation by the methods that you have suggested in the presentation?
See, there are
For
many forms of meditation. The key is you need a teacher.
Hmm.
So I
For the
am telling
beginners.
you that I just told you that in Kali Yuga, the method of meditation that works best for everybody is chanting God's name. So if you can chant God's name the way I'm teaching you for 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the evening, you will find that there will be within 15 days huge amount of spiritual progress.
Absolutely, sir. So, and it will help to reduce the frequency of negative thoughts as well as we start meditation.
Of course.
Sure, sir. So, sir, these were our questions for today's session. And that was really a wonderful session, the not just showing us the spiritual part of it, but as well as the scientific part of it. So thank you so much, sir.
Okay. Jai
Jai
Shri
Shri
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hari Om.
Jai Shri Krishna, sir. Thank you so much.